Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. As Rob said, my name is Brenda Bateman. I'm the director of the Department of Land Conservation and Development, and I'm so pleased to welcome all of you as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of Oregon's Land Use Planning Program. Before we get started, really in earnest, I wanted to just make sure I knew who was out in the audience today. And just by a show of hands, are there folks here who were present at the signing of Senate Bill 100 or who voted on that bill? Very good. 4, 5, 6. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you for your work and your legacy. Please feel free to greet and hug during our breaks and intermissions. Oftentimes when, first thing I'm going to do is ask all of you to visualize, in your mind's eye, think of your favorite place in Oregon. Probably the difficulty will be choosing amongst them, right? Think of one of your favorite places in Oregon. Often when I ask folks to visualize their favorite place in Oregon, they think of the coast, or someplace in the mountains, or wide open spaces, or their farm, or a park amongst the trees. Sometimes it's Main Street and that third place where they meet up with their friends. If you've ever looked around the landscape and thought, boy, Oregon's really a special place, you'd be right, because it is. Deliberately planned, our economic and community development is generally directed into towns and cities where infrastructure and services are available to support that growth. And maybe some of you have noticed the distinct boundaries around our urban areas where the town stops and the farmland begins. This design protects our working lands. Our farms, forests, coasts, and estuaries are some of the richest soils and ecosystems in the world, and they also play an important role in our economy. Today, you're going to hear from a number of presenters who will describe to you why we protect our agriculture, our forest, and our coastal land. They'll describe the importance of forward-thinking housing policies. And they'll also talk about the benefit of public engagement. All of these are key components of our land use planning system. And for all 19 of those components or land use goals, check out the back of our t-shirts. We've got all 19 listed on the back that our staff are wearing around the tent. And if I haven't mentioned it, we were very deliberate today in ordering a big tent where everybody can fit. All of these are components of our land use system, as I mentioned, and our land use policies were groundbreaking back in 1973 when Senate Bill 100 was signed, and they still serve as a model internationally today. We have a lot to be proud of here in Oregon and good reason to celebrate. And yet, we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge the path that we took to get here. So on this day of celebration, we have to ask, what is this land that we're celebrating? From time immemorial, this land has sustained the people who care for, who coexist with the water, the plants, and the animals that are in this place. This land serves as a provider of food, clothing, medicine, and homes. This land is also the source of our oxygen, our shield from floods and storm surges, and our buffer against strong winds. The indigenous people who have lived here, both in the past and in the present, hold an ancient knowledge and deep-rooted connection to this land. We live in a world where family wealth and health are closely tied to land, and unfortunately, our national, state, and local policies have separated or excluded entire communities from the land that they love. Some examples: breaking treaties, terminating most tribes, suppressing indigenous language and culture, constitutionally excluding Black pioneers from Oregon when the state was first formed, removing Japanese farmers and business owners from the land during World War II, moving, removing, and redlining Black neighborhoods in the name of development, and failing to recognize or to house those who are experiencing homelessness today. Looking ahead to the next 50 years of Oregon's land use planning program, we know we can do better. Our commitment today is to avoid inflicting, perpetuating, or allowing harm like this, and to take corrective action whenever and wherever possible. During my tenure as DLCD director, doing better will mean working deliberately to be in partnership and communication with each other. It will mean ensuring that our processes are open and inclusive, welcoming all Oregonians. I'm so grateful to be part of a team with our city and county partners, with our commissioners, with our staff, and Deputy Director Kirsten Green, who leads us in these efforts. And through it all, the land continues to provide our food and water, our fiber, our healing, our shelter, our oxygen, our protection from flood and storm, and our buffer from wind. We still have so much to learn from each other and so many more opportunities to care for the land that cares for us. Let's begin again. Thank you.